This most of them born out of my own realization and experience in the work we do as pastors and as counselors. That one, for all our young ones who haven't gotten married yet and are preparing to marry, take note of these 4 things I want to say as a word of introduction. That one, marriage is work. In fact, hard work. I repeat, marriage is work. In fact, hard work. After this, I'll break them down. 2, marriage is slavery. Marriage, and I put the slavery in quotes. Marriage is slavery. 3, marriage is sale of freedom. Marriage is sale of freedom. Before you get into the marriage, take note that marriage is sale of freedom. 4, marriage is more than emotional feelings. It is more of mental expressions. I take them again, that marriage is work, in fact hard work. Marriage is in quote slavery. Marriage is the sale of freedom. Marriage is more than emotional feelings. It is more of mental expressions. And all who haven't gotten married yet must take note of this, that once you enter marriage, for example, when I say marriage is sale of freedom, now when you are in marriage, before you even go out to visit a friend, you must take permission. Before you want to travel to go and see your parent, your own parent too, your own biological parent, you must take permission. Before you want to attend a family funeral, a family wedding, a family gathering, be you male or female, you must take permission. You have sold your freedom. If you are not fortunate and you marry a man or woman who doesn't understand things proper, you can say, no, now for this funeral, I suspect that they're going to meet your ex. I will not let you go. It can become a whole issue in the home. And so before you enter the marriage, take note that be you male or female, once you enter the marriage, for most of the things you do, you must take permission. Your spouse will say, no, you know that we have other things to do in the home, so why do you want to travel for the weekend? No. Then sometimes, if it's a woman who doesn't want you to go, she'll be going to add tears and begin to cry. No, I don't want you to go, just to convince you to stay. And most of the time, the women have their way when they don't want you to do a thing, more than the men. Because often when the men see the tears of the women, how are you going? Why are you trying? You know that I want to see you tonight. I want to by my side tonight, and then you most of the time drop your plans. And then so marriage, I repeat, is sale of freedom. So before you enter the marriage, take note that you are entering it, and like Dr. Sage would always say, you are submitting your own plans into somebody's wishes. And if you are the female, you are often in an African marriage the most disadvantaged. In an African marriage, often the most disadvantaged. You know, before now, when our economy was more agrarian, where we had a lot of us those days, when I say us, not us today, but then, being farmers, you know, you'd realize that marriage was more laborious. I was reading somebody's article, and I want to quote him that, in farming communities, each additional wife represented extra hands for planting, weeding, and harvesting. Before now, when people married more, they wanted to expand their farms because you have become an additional hand in the harvesting, in the planting, in the weeding, and the harvesting. Before now, when we were more communal as proper Africans, not a diluted African environment, by way of marriage, each wife in a polygamous household typically maintained her own quarters, quote another scholar too. So if your husband had 4 wives, you had a small corner for yourself, maybe one room, a hut, you know, and then all of you had your own apartment. And even today, when your husband has other wives with you, you have your own apartment. And what the author was trying to say is that because you have separate rooms or apartments, you see to the maintenance of the staff yourself. First, she oversees domestic tasks, and child rearing or child raising, the household was expected to allocate food, clothes, and other resources equitably, and then at visiting each wife. Now, in a typical African home, when you were married or a married woman, I think the most of the laborious of the works have to do with cooking. So that you are not cooking only for your spouse, you are cooking for your husband, cooking for your husband's uncle, cooking for your in-laws, because you are brought into a compound home where everybody ate from everybody's pot.
Okay.
And if you were the younger person, the younger one, the younger wife, young lady to have been married into the household, you do most of the cooking. So imagine cooking food for 10 people, 20 people as a young girl from the university, cooking food for 20 people every day. And this was a lifestyle, daily routine. Apart from the cooking of the meal, modernity and Europeanism maybe some way has broken this communal lifestyle. However, in some part of Ghana, this communal life exists. I am bringing this background to let everyone hearing and listening to us note that marriage actually is laborious.
Okay.
Marriage is work. You are coming into the marriage to do a lot of work. You are coming into the marriage to do a lot of work. What are some of the things you are coming in as a spouse? You know, I'm trying to focus on the wife here because it's a wife complaining.
Yeah.
That she didn't know that marriage is that tedious work.
Yeah.
You are coming in as a wife to wash, to cook, to raise kids, to clean the environment. If you are not fortunate to be married into a compound house of about a large house where you have 10 people living, Chesia, you know Chesia,
Yeah.
the very big one. So, Aprano, we have arranged today. You do that. The next day, this one sweeps, this one scrubs the bathhouse and keep the place neat. Imagine a bathhouse that has, if the tenants are 10, you know, and every room occupies 3 people, and then you can imagine the debt and the work you do. So you have to prepare your mind to know that this thing called marriage I am entering demands a lot of energy, demands a lot of work. And because it demands a lot of work, marriage is not for lazy people. Marriage is not for lazy people. Let me quote. Marriage is not so much about finding happiness as it is about becoming holy. Holiness in the sense comes with sacrifice, service, and selflessness, all of which require energy, not just emotion.
Okay.
Energy. Imagine having given birth to even 2. Even the 2 alone, you have to wash for them. If you are fortunate to get married to a man who would graciously support you, let me even say, graciously decide that you don't work. I'll do a lot of the work in this house. Even the act that produces children is not for lazy people.
Okay.
I was told of a joke, a true story. One of my pastor friends told me that he was counseling a couple, and the man lives or works in Tema, and the lady, I don't want to mention where she lives. So the man has apparently begun to, you understand. So the issue becomes an issue, and they have to settle it. Then the man complained that this thing we do that produces children, his wife is not too good. To him, his wife approaches it the lazy way. And then he tells herself that herself, tell my wife. Tell my koshe. Walking condo. On the water. So if you're not ready to do what this man is doing or this man is talking about, you'll be found to be a lazy person. Even the act that produces children, you're expected to do it with a lot of energy. I'm saying that even when your husband decides that, well, I want to be doing all these things for you. You sleep, I'll cook for you. I'll sweep for you. I'll wash your clothes for you. Even this, the act that produces children, demands energy. Again, it means that marriage is work, and marriage is a tedious work. Apart from this, when you get married, you will travel a lot. You see, the African marriage say that we say in Akan that you are worried about Busium, where your in-laws, your cousins, your husband's cousins, your husband's uncle, all of them become part of you. So when there's a funeral in your family, in your husband's family, you would attend. Sometimes your husband comes from far away from where you reside. Let's assume your husband is from the north, is from the Volta region, is from Seshi. You know, when there's a funeral, when there's a wedding, sometimes when there's a birthday party, you'd have to attend. From Takrady here to maybe the north, it's not a small journey. It's a journey that will make you tired. And when you go, you are not expected to just go and sit down and watch your in-laws do their work. You have to get involved and do other things to support the program. You don't go and then no. That is not African marriage. In an African marriage, you would do all this. Even in some customs, you'll be tested. You go serve your in-laws for some time before the marriage is contracted to see how you are. Are you a lazy person or you're a good person? And sometimes your in-laws may invite you home, and oftentimes you're invited home for the introductions. Even the one night you go to spend, they watch a lot of things. Would you wake up to sweep? Would you support a few things to be done? When they make their own observations, it may go in your favor or against you. So marriage is work right from the beginning. Remember, you are not marrying only your husband. In an African marriage, you are marrying the whole family. When we used to say, abusuya bako, now we say that abusuya bako, not only the paternal side of your husband, but now you are marrying into the paternal and maternal side of your husband. So this marriage brings a lot of people around. And I've said that you would attend weddings, you would attend parties, you would attend funerals, and for all of this, you'll be expected to do the work. Imagine you go to your husband's family to see your in-law pounding for food to, support the wedding. There's a wedding. Your husband is pounding for food. Be a odi awaka, awaka, where you are pounding with one hand, and then you are driving the fufu with the other hand, and then because you gone, so you winning fufu. You will do it. Yeah, you will do it. That's not the time for complaint. You will do it. And so unfortunately, if your father or parents are the dada and the mama type, begin to learn all these things, because you never know the man you're going to get married to. You never know your love. You never know where your heart will direct you to. Sometimes your husband you see today may be a nice guy, a rich guy, the type of guy you want to marry, but maybe coming from an Jeffy, where your husband has gone through challenges and difficulties to get to where he is. Now, when you go back into his family, remember that you are going into an Ajabafi where there is a lot of work. You would sweep, you would wash, you would clean, and do a lot of things for your in-laws. So our young ladies there who haven't gotten married yet should know that, in fact, marriage is work. And the Proverbs 31 we talk about, Proverbs 31, that every woman wants to be called a woman of Proverbs 31.
Yeah.
And all those things. You take your time and go through. You will come to that before you finish.
Yeah.
When you go through that, you realize that it is really hard work that woman has to do. She does stuff with her own hands. She provides food for the table and wakes up at dawn to. This is work. This is work. So when you're even not talking about the African marriage and talking about the biblical marriage, the Proverbs 31 stuff you talk about is a lot of work in there, even more than the African woman's work. If you can open your Bible and take us through briefly, it's even more than the African woman's work. And don't put the end here. I think that it is super African. Who are repair? Yeah, Juma, this is she brings in stuff, she does that, she wakes up and does stuff with her hands and all those things. This is work. And so if you are marrying a Christian marriage and you think that marriage is cheap, please, marriage is more than emotions. Marriage is more than feelings. Marriage is beyond love. It's more than love. I have said in the introduction that marriage is beyond love. And again, it's also a mental expression. Marriage is also a mental expression.
Proverbs chapter
31. And when we say a mental expression, what I want to say is that you use your brain the more. You use your brain, and that one too is work. That one too is work. So when you get married and you think, oh, I've married, so there's no much to be done. Even when your husband buys you a car, you will drive it. It is work.
Proverbs chapter 31 from verse 10 says that a wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grabs the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She clothes in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate.
And I don't know if you think this is small work. I was counseling a couple and I told them this. They had issue with payment of prepaid, and I quoted this. I told the woman, verse 17. No, verse 18. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out. We can't do not know if you don't wait for him to come and buy prepaid. I'm done.
Thank you very much. That was very Reverend.